Having the privilege to watch movies and speak about them for a living also has a caveat. Manjay, you're going to have to sit through some of the most dramatic and irritating films, talk about them analytically, and assume that the makers were genuinely intending to make a great film. The video is going to cover several films across languages that either missed the mark completely on what they originally intended, showcased actors who were terribly disinterested in regards to the film and their character, some trying to ape already successful products, and in some cases complete disasters in terms of storytelling, performances, and filmmaking. It's only been half a year, but we've got some solid contenders, so here is Tried&Refused Productions with top 10 worst Indian movies of 2023 so far. Number 10 goes to Christopher. When I saw the visuals and the star cast of Christopher, I really thought it would be a fun and thrilling action entertainer, a story of a cop and encounter specialist who takes matters into his own hands to destroy evil in society. The case of extrajudicial killings barely packed the punch, making even Mammootty come across as if he is sleepwalking through the role. The movie, directed by B. Unnikrishnan, barely developed hype even within the state of Kerala, making people wonder why Mammootty was interested in doing it in the first place. A film that transitions to become trauma porn at one point, where the only solution to violence against women, by the way showcased in graphic detail and mostly unnecessarily, is the male savior, Christopher, who conveniently saves the day with his trigger-happy ways. A wasted ensemble cast and an empty shell of a movie in its truest sense. Number 9 goes to Veera Simha Reddy. I don't think one can excuse poor storytelling just because it presents a popular face as the lead, and Veera Simha Reddy is all kinds of matlab kuch bhi in its treatment and execution. I mean, you've got the uncomfortable age gap between the romantic pair, Honey Rose playing mother to a young Balaya, Shruti falling in love with the hero after she accidentally gets high on coke and goes viral on TikTok, Balaya injured after an action scene, still having the time to light a cigar and cross his legs in style, and all this is to be celebrated because it is a fun Sankranti release. I am sorry, but the standards simply should be higher, and if Balaya can deliver with a khanda, we should also expect more from him from a creative standpoint. Number 8 goes to Alone. If Mohanlal's stint with films was not already bad, with mindless commercial movies that border on being embarrassing, one's hopes are really riding on the collaboration with Lijo Joe's Pelisseri to hit it out of the park, but his movie Alone that released this year was nothing short of exhausting. An attempt to do a film set during the lockdown with every frame only showcasing Mohanlal, the movie showcased the actor getting to the bottom of several suspicious activities, specifically voices that generate in the flat, but this film could not be saved by even Mohanlal's performance, because he seems to be casual in his approach too. One of the biggest theatrical disasters of 2023, it presented a ludicrous explanation in the climax and visually looked nothing short of a YouTube skit. Number 7 goes to KABZAA. With anything that seems to work financially, there are bound to be sorry attempts at recreating the same model and style, and KABZAA is a prime example of wanting to capture the unabashed and unapologetic nature and treatment of the KGF franchise. A film that was celebrating success parties just a few days after its release, already labeling it a blockbuster. The film provided Ravi Basroor's most forgettable act with his score, had dialogues introducing characters like "Ek baar usne entry kiya to enter the dragon dikha ke rahega," and lacked any form of emotional depth with its romantic subplot. The legend Upendra tried, but the array of villains, the cinematography and prevalence of greys and black, the rapid editing and rousing background score are all indicative of thinking that this is KGF amplified times 10. In hindsight, it's nothing short of simply being just a cheap version of the same. Number 6 goes to Ghosty. There is nothing worse than a comedy film that just generates crickets, and this Tamil horror comedy Ghosty was precisely that. Kajal Agarwal plays an inspector in this film who is after a gangster who was once in her father's custody a few decades ago. The turn of events that follow after an accidental killing that not only jeopardizes the mission but puts her life at risk forms the premise of this terribly unfunny film, which involves, get this, 3 aspiring filmmakers who ingest a liquid from a laboratory and annoy Kajal incessantly. Acid jokes and rape gags are dispersed throughout the screenplay, the Sam CS background score is deafening, and the film trivializes mental health like most Indian films for a surprising climax. This was terribly tough to sit through. Number 5 goes to Kisi ka Bhai, Kisi ki Jaan. There is an expectation that comes with the Salman Khan starrer, and even when it is an unabashed commercial entertainer, fans expect him to at least engage us on this entertaining ride or pretend to be interested in some frames. Kisi Ka Bhai Kisi Ki Jaan is the Berozgar Yojana of his production company that should immediately halt, enough of providing jobs to friends and family and look out for himself. You had songs like Let's Dance Chotu Motu, the iconic lunges in the name of choreography, random Deshbhakti dialogues like Insaniyat mein bada dam Vande Matram, is Desh mein hai bada dam Vande Matram. Villains are commended for hiring African goons with the lines Kitta bhi kamina ho, racist nahi hai, and Vijender Singh does not generate an iota of fear as the villain. In this stacked lineup of actors no one eventually cares about, at least it was better than Radhe. Number 4 goes to Agent. A film that went through several delays and finally released this year with abysmal reviews was the Akhil Akineni starrer Agent. Going by the catchphrase Sala Nahi, Wild Sala Bol. The movie, its premise, its execution, its placement of songs, its antagonist, its attempt to capitalize on Mammootty's star presence, nothing helped its case. Aimed at showcasing Akhil on this national map as a pan-Indian star, the film was nothing short of embarrassing. You know a project is doomed when the producers themselves publicly take blame for the movie's failing and also mention that the script was not even finalized as they started shooting. The film is illogical in so many ways, killing people to impress a boss to get hired, an unintentionally funny villain God played by Dino Moria, and a NASA aspirant heroine who leaves the job at the drop of a hat because who would not fall for our dashing hero? Nothing really could save this film, not even Mammootty. Number 3 goes to Bagheera. There is something really alarming about some of the creative choices Prabhudeva makes, especially as an actor, and never did I envision that I would have to sit through such a cringe and sleaze fest of a film in the form of Bagheera. A film on a psycho killer who has an aversion towards women. He is basically an Andrew Tate-like figure for men who are wronged. It's just that he is a serial killer, and it is sickening and insane that such films are still in production in 2023. Imagine justifying an idea where on an app men can post photographs of their cheating partner so that the serial killer can do the deed. The film is so problematic that it really can influence impressionable kids. It has takes on women's decency, the sacredness of their virginity, and the film doesn't even have a good justification of why the main character is executing such despicable acts. I haven't been enraged by a movie in a long time, and this one that casually got ignored by many is really abysmal. Number 2 goes to Meter. A film that even loyal Telugu film audiences avoided as they saw its trailer is a movie that released this year called Meter. It's a movie having little to no logic as a man having an aversion to the police force inadvertently gets elected. He likes a girl who he saved from goons. One wonders, right, why the goons were following the girl? So one gets to know through an anecdote by her father that this daughter hates men. This is because her sister was left by her husband 2 months ago after their marriage. This made the elder sister go into depression and commit suicide. Due to this traumatic event, the heroine of the film believes that all men are evil, and her solution to this feeling is if she ever gets approached by a man, she throws acid on their face. This is not a villain origin story, but is showcased through a comedic lens. The film is tone deaf, illogical, and all under the guise of mass cinema develops into an embarrassing tale that I wonder about sometimes. How do they even approve it on the editing table? Number 1 goes to ADIPURUSH. I will firmly stand by ADIPURUSH being the worst film of 2023 because of what it promised to us and what it delivered. This is simply because the makers made audiences dream about Ramayana being a reality on the big screen. They could finally see the epic in all its glory. But what was delivered was not only embarrassing and offensive, it genuinely seemed like they cheated the Indian audience. You had exceptionally poor special effects for a monstrous budget, a metropolitan deer Donna clubbing looking Ravan with a Virat Kohli fade, a tattoo-lathered nightcrawler looking Megnath, a snake bathing Ravan who feeds raw chicken to his dragon, a Hanuman who lacks any form of sensitivity and innocence and delivers dialogues like a gangster from an Anurag Kashyap film. The 6-month break in enhancing the film was just a decoy to let the outrage simmer down. The issue is not the effort being placed by the actors, but the overconfident vision of a director and writer who thought they could get away by doing the bare minimum and paper over the obvious problems by hiding behind a secret text that is revered by the entire nation. Protecting one's own lack of creativity and respect behind God, knowing very well that any form of criticism will be labelled as anti-Hindu or anti-India. It is the worst, It is a complete misfire, and I stand by this. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below which were the worst movies according to you in the first half of 2023. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram, the handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.